Good day. My name is Ilarian Gordon, and today I'm going to teach you how to be a cultured person. Well, excellent old sport. Never been a better time to become an art connoisseur. This course will teach you to quickly recognize Western art from quite a long way away. For example, number 3, the church. Number 3, the church. To ensure your complete knowledge, in the next 10 minutes, everything will be compressed into easily digestible sections with a couple of examples for each one. Here at the Airborne Ape Corporation, we are direct, simple and fast. So stay in shape, stay frosty, stay vigilant, and always check for lumps in the dangling parts of your body. Let's jump right into the magic well. We will start light and gentle with some cave paintings, recognizable without a fail, since they only exist in caves, books and videos about how humanity was always drawn to the visual arts.
We can swiftly spot the usual suspects. Everything is about the animals, and they can be separated into 4 different groups.
A. Tasty. B. About to taste you. C. Hands. And D. People.
Colors, only earth pigments.
Note that people look like shit, while animals are majestic. Okay, let's move towards some real art. We are transported to the ancient Mesopotamia, 2950 to 2350 BCE. First guys on the scene, the ancient Sumerians. Despite their self-naming, translated as the black-headed people, we can see mostly white, round and clean-shaven dudes, sacrificing left and right.
Do we see that often?
No, since they are extinct for several millennia. The Sumerians loved their diamond-shaped patterns and blue pigments. Anything but those pesky earth colors, am I right? During the brief period of 2334 up to 2193 BCE, we see Sumer and its bold inhabitants completely replaced by the dudes with some actual Semitic heritage and a lot of neatly folded hair. Those are Akkadians, who also loved blue stuff,
but did not care for shaving at all. Learn to differentiate. That may someday save your life.
It's time to turn to everyone's favorite, the ancient Egypt. Starting bold and heavy at roughly the same 2500 BCE, Egypt is super easy to point out in the crowd. It's all about the people standing sideways. Rows and rows of individuals, left and right, on top of each other. Sometimes an agitated observer might spot a dude or two with a disproportionate head of an animal. Those are supposedly gods.
Remember, our course is designed to teach a student how to recognize dead people's cultures, not worshipping potentially hazardous outdated deities. We claim deniability in case of misplaced sacrifices or malignant divine interventions.
What a cultured person needs to know that there is a white crown that looks like a champagne bottle. It is all about the Upper Egypt. And if the crown is red one, looking like a bottle opener, it's the Lower Egypt. To add to your misery, the Upper Egypt is lower than the Lower Egypt on the map. Well, since it had been a hot minute since 3000 BC, when they were united into a single Egypt and a single double crown, we're going to ignore the other 9 types of crown. One thing that you should know about Egyptians, except the way they walked, is the typology of their columns. Yes, let's talk columns real quick. First ones were extremely boring, geometrical ones, and then they started to think like interior designers. finally, probably after 1,000 years or so, and they eventually shaped those boring old columns as bouquets of lotus flowers, reeds, and palm leaves. Well, by the way, everything was painted and bright.
Okay, let's take a look across the Mediterranean Sea. There are Cycladic and Minoan civilizations here. Not yet Greek, but you want to call them Greek.
Since we've spent all our time yapping about Egypt right now, here's how to dissect Minoan art. It's mostly themed around the sea, cows, and fully clothed ladies that chose to cut the bra-shaped orifices in their otherwise fully covering attire.
This commendable behavior is usually followed by wiggling a couple of venomous snakes around. An eagle-eyed scholar would recognize palmettes in the Minoan decorum.
Probably they stole them from the Egyptians and made it a super Greek feature. Well, coming back hot to the Mesopotamia ever since we left it several centuries ago. Let's check what they've been up to. Okay, they're basically the same.
How do we know that some time had passed? Well, it's easy. If you see a ton of muscles, it's definitely a relatively newer piece. Like, for example, this dude holding his pet lion while opening the door to get his pizza.
Also, ultimate blue lovers from Babylon, where everything is pixelated and they have those five-legged guarding figures, lamassu. 5 legs were needed to give the viewer an impression of the figure standing if you face it and moving forward if you walk by it. The inhabitants of the Babylonian, Neo-Akkadian, Neo-Babylonian, and eventually Persian empires still hated shaving.
Okay, a quick hydration break. Having fun so far? Whatever your answer was, good.
Let's move on. Right, we're getting into the big leagues now, starting with the all Mycenaean and Iron Age Greek art of 1700 up to 600 BCE. This covers all the stuff that happened before the Trojan War, then after it, the Bronze Age collapse, Greek Dark Ages, Homer times, and some more. Their stuff is kinda primitive. You'd never guess in those warrior-centric, badly drawn, nose-drooping bastards, the cradle of whole Western civilization. And yet, they are. A question for the bright ones in the audience. What is the most common Greek pattern, roughly from that period?
Obviously, it's the meander.
Let this set in. If it's meandering, it's probably Greek. Right, another crisis averted. Now you are less an ignoramus and more of a amus. Or whatever the antonym is. Closer to the end we get Greek Orientalizing period, which meant our Greek buddies stole a lot of stuff from the Egypt, Phoenicia, Syria, and Assyria. Once again, who would have thought they might do something like that?
Switching to the fifth gear here,
we are entering the archaic and early classical Greek art of the fabled 600 up until 460 BCE. It's already very Greek, so pay attention and don't mix it up.
Archaic is when they already good at making huge bronze statues, but everything is kinda stale and rigid. Like this. If you're wondering, that's the famed Olympian calm, since most of the sculptures are those of gods or godlike mortals. That's why Sir Grandad Ridley Scott stole that look for the engineers. Those guys were also not chill at all in real life. But we digress. Also, a good pointer for a keen eye is this pattern of the dress. See how it resembles the bottle of aviation gin, not sponsored,
This is their first attempt at the lifelike but very platonically cool dress. Also, we have these. The black figure pottery and the red figure pottery styles. They were introduced during the Archaic period, around 530 BCE. This is very Greek, extremely Greek. What's also Greek? The columns. Only a simple mind can tell the Doric, Ionic, and the Corinthian styles apart. Now, your mind is a complicated one, so rejoice. Oh, fuck it. Let's head towards the classical Greece of 450 to 400 BCE. We still have nothing new from the face area, but the body is now very cool. You may think otherwise, but this is peak Greek performance. Unbothered, moisturized, happy, in their lane. We have a full assortment of all-you-can Greek buffet, the Parthenon, Doryphorus, Polykleitos, and all the stuff that the British have rescued with a one-way golden ticket to the British Museum. After this, we will speedrun the late Hellenistic period in which Alexander the Great, played by an Irish actor with bleached hair for some reason, who had spread the soft butter of classicism on the map of the known world with some exuberant generosity. This led to some funny things, such as Egyptian Greeks, played by Elizabeth Taylor, Buddhist Greeks, absorbed by the Hindus, Roman Greeks, foreshadowing. How do we recognize the last Greek period? By its extremely protruding muscles, dynamic posing, and overall taste for drama and drachma. Am I right? Take a note. When a culture starts to show unrealistic expectations for muscles, it's a sign of a speedy decline. Alright, hope you have enjoyed the 10 minutes of Western visual arts and how to recognize them from a quite long way away. Next time we will cover the Roman Empire, some Byzantium, and the Middle Ages. Stay hydrated, my fellow persons, and good luck!